Here's today's takeaway.
Write the vision. Don't worry about who's going to pay for it. Don't worry about who's going to execute it. Don't worry about who's going to stand in agreement with it. All he asked you to do was write the vision and then read it. Remind yourself of what you said. Remind yourself of where you're going. Touch your sister and say, I'm going to write it, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to run it. God has scheduled you for a promotion. You're going to have to run after your dream. Slap somebody and say, run!
Feel free to reach out to us on social media and share your story of how God is impacting your life. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Potter's Touch.
This is WOKB 1680 AM Winter Garden, W264DB 100.7 FM Kissimmee, the heart and soul of Central Florida.
What's up, y'all? This is John and Sequoia Howard of the Agape Music Group.
Yeah, and we rock with Marcus, Lady Drina, and the Culture for Christ segment on WOKB Radio Orlando.
Central Florida's only radio station for Christian hip-hop and new gospel music.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
You're feeling down and out, nothing seems to be working. Tired from 2 jobs, and your body's steady hurting. You feel like there's no help, there's no one to call. Seems like your best ain't good enough, but you gotta give it your all. Don't give up, don't give in. You gotta keep on pushing. Hell yeah, you're about to give up. Put your dreams on the shelf. One thing you have to remember, God will leave you by yourself. When your mountain seems high and your valley is low, you're standing in the middle, don't know which way to go. Don't give up, don't give in, just keep on pushing, yeah. Oh, you feel it going out, nothing seems to be working. Trying from 2 jobs, and your body's steady hurting. You can't get no help, there's no one you can call. Your best isn't good enough, you gotta keep giving your all. Don't give up, don't give in, keep on pushing. Oh, you're about to give up, put your dreams on the shelf. One thing you have to remember, he won't leave you by yourself. When your mountains seem high and your valley seem low, you're standing in the middle, don't know which way to go. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give in. What you got to do? Push it. Oh, don't give up, don't give in. Keep on pushing. Oh, don't give up, don't give in. Keep on pushing. I feel like dancing. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. Just remember that I told you, don't give up, don't give in. Keep on pushing. Don't you give up, don't you go in the
All right. Don't you give up, y'all. Don't you give up. Don't throw in the towel. That's Keith Wonderboy Johnson. You're tuned in to Culture for Christ radio broadcast with your girl, Lady Drina, and my brother from a whole nother mother. This is the one and only Marcus Scanyas is in the house. I cannot hear you, Marcus. I need you to.
Oh, my bad. I said, what's going on, Lady Drina?
What's up, sir? Yes, day 2. We are here.
We here.
Thank you, Boss Lady. Boss Lady brought me something to drink, y'all.
Hey, what's up?
She said, hi.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
So listen, we are live. We had a great conversation and great show on yesterday, and we are destined to have another great one on today.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we got some special guests that's going to be joining us as well. So I'm excited about that.
I am too. I can't wait. I'm just waiting on them to pop on in and say
Yeah, and I've
hello.
already queued up all of their music because I just received a text message about something else, but we got agape music queued up.
That's what's up. They're going to be with us for a few minutes because they have some activities with their children.
Oh, okay. Listen, they're family. They
That's
are a family.
That's right.
They are a family, and I love it. And hey, since they are a family, and he's a father, we had a good conversation about fathers. Hey, my cousin Lorette is on here. Hey, we're gonna continue that. But hey, Von Seal,
my brother Philip.
Hey, Philip, how you doing? Wow, we got
all
the
the family
in.
today.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all. Just hit share, okay? Hit share and let everybody else know you're on too. So that conversation was really, really good. And by him being a father, your father, Marcus, I would love to hear his point of view on that as well. So give the people a little brief on what we talked about on yesterday, because you proposed a amazing topic. So let's talk about it.
We're gonna run back through it, but you know what? Before we do, let's put our hands together because our special guests have arrived, and we want to make sure that we introduce the world again and again and again.
And the crowd goes wild.
God, that's Sequoia Howard. This is the dynamic duo, the Agape Music Group. What's up, family?
What's up, man?
What's up, y'all?
Drina. What up?
I'm so glad to see y'all. I love y'all.
Thank you. We love y'all.
Yes, listen, it's so good to see you, y'all. Yeah, I love y'all so much. Hey, I see that y'all just came off of the award show. And y'all won an award for duo hip-hop urban gospel music duo group. What in the world was going on, boy? Y'all just killing it all the way around. Put in some hard work.
Man.
What's going on, family?
So that was actually from the Gospel Hip Hop Awards. Yeah. We were unable to attend in May. My sister, she graduated with her doctorate from Florida State. Shout out.
Doctorate.
The chocolate maestra. But she so we missed the award show and we won it, and Jay Williams and his wife were so gracious enough to they brought it with them to Memphis and presented
the Avidity Awards.
Yeah, they brought it with them. And they presented.
Listen, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
We actually got to do the tribute to Jay Williams and those Baxters at the Avidity Awards, which is so special, man.
It was super dope, man.
So yeah, we're grateful.
Yeah,
listen, that's amazing. I'm like,
that's amazing. I love that.
Derek for what he's doing, and I mean that's amazing. That's amazing.
Listen, he even made the news.
Yeah,
right. And that is big.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. And it was a dope show.
It was, man. We had a really, really great time just connecting with new artists and artists that we've connected with throughout the year. So it was really, really, really dope event.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we still pushing the music. The music is still great. And listen, let me tell you, y'all, it is great. It is great. It's a part of our blast list on today. So the people,
it sure is, because we just love y'all music. Okay,
love y'all music.
Thank you, man. So we hadn't like put it out there like that yet, but we really do appreciate folks like y'all, because like last time I checked, I think we were number 4 in the gospel internet charts, like regular gospel.
Oh,
and that blew our minds, yo.
That's crazy.
That's big. I love it.
To you guys and how much y'all support artists like us.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful to be able to have this platform, to be able to just, put out music that God has given us, and people actually love it, and it's helping them and reaching so many. So we appreciate y'all so much.
Ooh, thank y'all.
Oh man, listen, y'all know, thank y'all for listening to God and following the leading and the ministry, because I wouldn't even think that I would think that y'all, people try to minimize or pigeonhole you, put you in one category.
Yeah.
But to go, and you remember we talked about that. Like, and y'all are now on the regular gospel charts too. That's crazy,
bruh.
Yeah,
that's real big. Listen,
that's huge. That's huge. That's transcending. That's transcending.
Yeah. Man, shout out to those Baxters. They be out here working hard too.
Yeah,
those are radio promoters, so we're super grateful. Just grateful all around.
That's good. People are in the chat. They're saying congratulations. Everybody, listen. Let me tell y'all something. Go to the IG page, the Agape Music Group. Follow them on their Facebook page, the Agape Music Group. They're on all of the musical platforms. You can find their music. It's amazing. Listen, what we were talking about yesterday, because this is important, and I want to give a shout out to you, John, because I know y'all may have seen my post on IG where I was giving a shout out to all the fathers who are current in their parents' and their children's lives. And I know y'all got to go to y'all soccer. Y'all got to go take care of y'all babies because y'all babies doing soccer. But what we were talking about yesterday was, and we're going to get more into it today. We were talking about how important the role of a father is in the lives of a child, whether they be male or female. Most of the times, the mother is always there, but it's normally just the mother. But the father doesn't realize in our community how important of a role and an impact it plays. And so we just want to give a shout out to you. Do you have anything that you want to say to any of the fathers out there that might be listening?
Man, I mean, don't underestimate the power of presence.
That's good.
Like, it's not so much about providing and you working, going to get the bag and all that stuff, but that's great and all, but presence, I think, is more important, to be able to have that opportunity to really sit down, to really just be around, and to your presence being in their presence. Man, I was fortunate enough to have a father that was present in my life, that also provided, and so still is right to this day. So yeah, man, that's all I would say. That's all I would say.
That's also, I'm in the same boat. My father's no longer here, but I have my mom and dad. I grew up in the house with both of my parents. I saw them when they got up for work in the morning, because they were the ones knocking on our door, getting us up for school as they were leaving the house. And we saw them every night, and they were active in our sports life, our school life, and definitely dragging us to church, which I couldn't stand when I was growing up. But
now look at the elder. Look at your elder.
Because of it.
Look at your elder.
I understand it and I appreciate it. Drina shared from a woman's perspective, because her father was not in her life consistently.
Yeah, he was an absentee father.
He's an absentee father. Now, as a mom, Sequoia, for you, your father was in your life, was still in your life. How important, can you speak from a mother's perspective?
Yeah, from a mother and a daughter's perspective, like, it's everything. A lot of who I am and a lot of why I'm cool in corporate America, walking into some of the rooms that I walk into, sometimes being the only female, is because of what my dad showed me. A lot of why I was only, this is the only man that could get me was because of what my daddy showed me. You know what I mean? Wow. Like, my daddy was the first man to say, I love you, was the first man to treat me like I expect to be treated, and like I still expect to be treated to this day. Not saying he my daddy, but
I get that. I know
exactly
what you're talking about.
He speaks life to me, is what I'm saying. And then as a mom, I promise you, like, that's legit. That's one of the sexiest things, to see this dude in his daddy element. Like, it just, oh my gosh. because like my kids adore him. They absolutely love him. And then it helps me not to be so worn out because I have this part here, you know, that we're
right.
so now I definitely fathers, those of you that are listening, y'all are necessary, so necessary.
So how being that all of this is, how has this played into the shaping of Agape Music Group? Because even the name that you chose means love in itself. How and your upbringing with your parents and you two working together as a team. You're not only a duo, but you're husband and wife, and everyone knows that, because there are a lot of artists who would put the personification in a duo group that they're married, but they're actually not really married at all. But and they wouldn't want anybody to know that. But you two are husband and wife. So how does this like play into the music that you all create and the sound that you created?
So, you know, when we think about the name Agape, that's the love of the Father, the unconditional love of the Father. So in order for us to be how we are with each other and to how we are with our kids, like we really had to lean in and take a deep dive into what the love of the Father really means for us, what that looks like, what that sounds like, you know what I mean, what that feels like.
That's good.
And once we understood that particular connection, now all these other connections are a lot easier, you know what I mean? Because now I understand, if this is how he loves me, this is how he sees me, this is how I'm supposed to love me and how I'm supposed to see me. Now, this is how I'm supposed to love him and how I'm supposed to see him. You see what I'm saying? And it follows that trajectory into all the relationships that we have, even the really challenging and tough ones.
I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, thank y'all. I know y'all have to go. We wanted to just have everybody understand and continue to follow and support the Agape Music Group. Again, congratulations on everything that you are. This award, even being on stage at the Avidity Awards, doing the tribute and everything. I know that was powerful and amazing. I can't wait to see.
Listen, that stage was amazing. It was like the Doves, the Stellas. It was mega. I'm like, Derek, you did that, okay?
The band and background vocals.
Listen,
oh my God,
impeccable, right?
Yeah,
indie artist. It is the biggest.
It's
night
one of the biggest nights. Yeah,
gospel music. All right,
literally.
Man. It was. We had a really great time, and shout out to Derek and his team for what they did the whole weekend, man. It was everything was really good.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. We cannot wait. Again, I want to bring him on too, because I want to just talk to him about what he did and just support, make sure that he knows, because that was
was amazing. I'm just so proud of him. Yeah,
I
gotta make sure that Marcus, we gotta make sure that we go next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to make sure of that, because I have not been. So I do support, but I got to make sure I come to one of them. So
absolutely.
Hey, if we can, Marcus, before we hop off, can we do 2 real quick shout outs?
I'll need y'all to do that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So 1, shout out to my mom. Today she celebrates 4 years cancer free.
Oh, love it.
She diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018, and she beat that thing, and she is living and thriving.
That's a blessing.
So shout out to Pamela Moore. And then secondly, this Saturday, anybody that's in Atlanta and surrounding areas, we are a part of the Indie Major Tour. I don't know if y'all seen the post that
I've seen the posters.
But it's in Lithonia at Harvest Tabernacle Church this Saturday, the 22nd. Things kick off at 6 p.m. Y'all, please, I need y'all to pack that out. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to experience God in a dope, fresh way at a CHH concert. You got to feel the tangible presence.
Say it. You gotta say it.
Y'all be
go.
Yes.
Go.
I love it. I love it.
Agape Music Group, everybody. We love y'all so much. We love y'all. And man, congratulations for everything, and we got y'all back. We support y'all. For
Absolutely.
real. I'm believing somebody putting here amen on complete healing. Amen. And October is a hard month for me because my mother did lose her battle to breast cancer. So, but I my heart and my prayers go up to everyone who is a survivor. It's amazing, and those who lost loved ones to that. So I'm so happy that your mom beat that. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
We're gonna stay in touch with y'all. Everybody put your hands together again. It's Agape Music Group.
Hey, we love y'all.
Love y'all so much.
The crowd continues to go wild.
So much. Love them so much.
We wanna I'm gonna throw this song in right quick so we can just let the people feel and hear a little bit of Agape Music Group. This is TLP.
Hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth. Give us this day everything we need. Forgive us as we learn to forgive. Lead us not into temptation. God, please keep us from all harm and danger. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever. Forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, our glory, all praises. In the Garden of Gethsemane, prayed until he sweat blood. So many folk depend on me. I promise I won't let up. Y'all sure? Y'all sure's blood, make sure I die pure. There isn't a spot you cannot cure. You're living in spite of the folklore. So, oh Lord, my soul's yours. Every night I pray your kingdom come, and it does. Plus you teach me the word like Brigham Young. So I bring them young as a youth pastor. Cause in your house is Sukasa. The king dies, but now I live in the sky. Just like Mufasa, so I move faster. Leave them on red. I'm in a new chapter with a gift inside of my own flesh. I feel like a new rapper. I hold a new wineskin with her dress. And plus I'm too dapper. I ain't watch Benjamin Button or moonwalks. I don't move backwards. I ran to the sun because of you, Abba. Abba. Glory to my heavenly Father, who carried this burden all the way to Golgotha. Now I pray behind the veil, Marsala and Carabas. Amen. Forever and ever, 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 all glory, all praises. All
know for real, this is why we love Agape Music Group. I don't know a lot of hip hop Christian music at all, or how they say HHC. What y'all call it?
CHA.
That is whatever they call
or
it.
GHA, Christian hip hop, gospel hip hop, and they are a mix of both. They are like urban contemporary.
Okay, back to the point. I don't know. Let's get back to the point. I don't know a lot of these songs by verbatim, but my Lord, I know their song verbatim, and I don't understand how.
Glory.
But I literally know all the words to their music verbatim, y'all. That's saying something good for me. That's saying something really good for me. Okay.
Before they release that song, they call me. I'm driving in the car. I'm on my way somewhere, and I get this call. That was like, "Bro, you got a moment?" I'm like, "Yeah." They was like, "I'm getting ready to send you something." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Just take a listen to it." And they sent me this, and my phone is connected to them. Man. Ooh. When that song came on, I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be." And this song has put them in all these different categories that they never did.
Because
that we didn't think that they would be in.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Listen, and it's a song that can clearly cross over.
Yes, absolutely.
Clearly,
absolutely
over. I absolutely love it. So, big ups to y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. Stay the course, man. Y'all doing a great job.
They doing it.
Y'all doing a great job. So
shout out to WKCJ Gospel Radio. They are in the chat saying,
"Hey there, what's up?"
That's Ronald HYCH. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I don't know if it Ronald Heich.
Okay, hi Ronald.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Thank you so much for dropping in. We appreciate it.
Hey, absolutely.
Listen, yesterday we were going through it, talking about our absentee fathers or fathers with negative relationships with their son,
with their children.
With their children. We left off. I said, Drina.
Yes, you did. Come on.
What do you think? Do you think that $6,700 a month, living in the state of New York, $6,700 a month, living in the state of New York, which is roughly a little over $80,000 a year. That's in child support, $6,700 a month in child support, right?
Right.
Living in the state of New York.
And this is just for one child, right?
That's just for one child, but this is the average cost of living.
Yes.
Average cost of living. That's food, transportation, gas, and electric. Food, transportation, gas, and electric. Maybe some rent.
Right.
I'll say, well, let's throw rent in there. Let's just throw rent in there.
Right? Okay, we can throw that in.
So that's $6,700 a month.
Right.
$6,700 a month, a little over $80,000 a year in the state of New York. Is that enough to survive in the state of New York?
Okay, now this is what I'm gonna say. No, it is not enough. For a person to survive in the state of New York. But this is what I'll also say. It also depends on the income of the other parent. So if this ruling, now if this is a legit case and this ruling came about for one child, maybe, this is what the father is doing, but the mother may be doing something else because she has a pretty good income. Yeah, I've never seen it where the father gets off so easy. I haven't seen too many of those reports. If you know some, you can tell me, but usually fathers pay a lot more than what mothers do. And when it comes down to child support, not saying they do more than mothers, but when it comes down to child support, I've never seen too many fathers get discounts. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say, I really haven't seen that. And so I'm thinking if they have given this rate for this, it has to be because this mother income, it fits her income. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand.
That's the only thing that I could come up with. I just don't see this man getting like, you know, hey, he went to the judge and be like, I'm not paying that. This all I'm gonna pay. You know, I don't see that. I just cannot.
I'm gonna put it a little bit more into context, because one.
All right, put it in context for me. Okay.
What's the cost of living in New York? So the bare minimum, the cost of living in New York for the bare minimum is $80,000 a year. That's the bare minimum. That does not include any extras. You're talking about rent, light, food, transportation. All right, rent, the utilities, food, transportation is going to be about $80,000 a year. And that's, for a single person, that is okay. You keep you slightly above water, right? And yes, child support.
But that's child support, not talking about the other person's
That's right.
income.
Child support is supposed to be there to help, right? Now,
exactly, it's the help, not to
help.
Completely take care of.
Right,
it's to help.
It's to help. Okay. Now, in addition to that, though, this is an argument or a battle that was going around. And it does depend on, like you said, somebody else also agreed that it depends if the other person is working. So this all stems from arguments that are happening online between Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, and Marquise Jackson, 50 Cent's son.
Wow.
Who's saying that the money that he was getting, which is $6,700 a month in child support, was not enough money to live in New York. Now, here it is. His father is worth $40 million. He made $250 million over the course of his career.
And how old is this?
Right now he's 26 years old.
He's 26, so he's complaining about what he used to receive.
I think they're still kind of receiving it because the laws are different per state.
The laws are different per state, but you 26, get a job.
Get a job.
Okay, I'm gonna go back on mute.
So let me say,
you're 26. Come on now.
I think what the real issue is not really the money.
Okay. What's the issue? What's the real issue? You tell me, help me with the real issue. Because to me, this is not a case. It's a 26-year-old man.
It is a 26-year-old
man.
If there wasn't an issue between a father and son, then there wouldn't be a discussion about how much he was getting.
Man, listen, they stopped my dad from paying child support when I turned 18 years old. So he is blessed to be 26 and still be receiving something. I'm done.
I'm still saying that if there was a relationship between a father and son, because there really never has been, then we wouldn't have an issue with him. The money itself wouldn't even be an issue. And what is more disturbing is that the hip hop world is actually pitting the two against one another.
Yeah, that is sad. Nah, I get that.
Instead of them coming and bringing a conversation to the table, like say, hey, let's bring this man, because his father is the king of trolls now.
Yes.
50 Cent will troll the devil out of you.
Yes.
And he's actually good at it. I think sometimes it's terrible, and then sometimes it's funny. It's Lord,
it's hilarious all the time. I'm sorry, but it is crazy. It really is hilarious.
But when you have a son who is making, what I hear is not so much so that you are making a stint about how much money you're getting a month. What I hear is that you don't have a relationship with your father.
And okay, but okay.
That's what I hear. Because let's say, for instance, if a woman is getting $500 a month, right, in child support.
Okay.
I know some people who getting $30 a month in child support.
Yes. I do too. I know somebody
They
that
have
gets
them and their
mhm,
kids have a right to
mhm.
be screaming and hollering, right?
Right. I get
Now,
that. Yeah.
and I'm not saying that Marquise Jackson does not, but I do know of people who get probably, let's say if they get $100, $200, $300 a month in child support, but the father is extremely and has been extremely active in their child's life.
Right.
You won't hear them saying, well, he ain't giving me enough money, because
Right.
he's
Okay.
actually spending time and has nurtured and has been in his son's life. Now, I see right here a generation, because I did a little bit more research.
Come on with your research. Come on, research.
Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, his father was not in his life. He
So
was
it's a learned
raised,
behavior.
it's a learned behavior. He was
Uh-huh.
raised by his mother,
Okay.
who was attracted to the opposite sex, but she was also a big time dope dealer.
Okay.
She died in a house fire when he was 8 years old. He moved in with his grandparents, started
Mm-hmm.
selling dope at the age of 12, got caught at school with a gun, and then at 14, then decided that he would no longer hide that information from his grandparents, because he was hiding it, and just let them know, I'm selling dope. I'm living in your house.
I'm living your house. Yeah, and I'm
I'm
doing what
selling
I'm
dope,
doing.
and I'm
Yeah.
14 years old. Now what
Yeah,
you
I'm
gonna do
doing what
about
I'm
it?
doing. What you gonna do? Yeah.
So he never he never had a solid family foundation.
I get exactly what you're saying right now. Okay.
He never had. So if he had a foundation with his son, like you can't, for some people, you can't just throw money at them and think that that's going to be all right,
Right.
because it doesn't always necessarily work. Marquise is actually a good artist. He's in the music. He's not a rapper. He's a singer, from what I understand.
Okay.
And he's doing some things. And I think that if even if the $6,700 a month, if that is what his father is giving, which his father did say, yes, I'm giving him $6,700 a month. But if they had a relationship, a father-son relationship, that wouldn't even be an issue. It wouldn't even matter. But they
And
have none. They fight.
it also depends on the mentality of that child if it would matter. You know
And
what
it also, it depends on that, and it also depends on what the mom is whispering in his ear,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
what she
Because you
has whispered
never
in his
know.
ears as a youth.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
she could be a calming force, or she could be an antagonistic person. Like, look at all that money your daddy
Right.
make. He don't call you. He don't come by to see you. All he do is he send you this little bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's and look at the world that he lives in. All the
Right.
people around his father who have children his age, their children are not struggling like he is.
Right.
They get whatever. Now, when he was a kid growing up, his dad gave him throwing all the name brand. You're gonna get every Jordan that comes out,
So he got all the things that he needed as a child, but
all the
now
material
there's the
things.
material things, but maybe not the time, maybe not the trips and the personal time that he really wanted and needed. That's what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, for me, I think that if there was a great relationship between the two of them, this wouldn't even be something that really even matters. Like,
Mhm. Okay.
we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Like, they've been feuding for years, and now
Oh,
it's at a head. And people have valid points by saying, Marquise, you are 26 years
you're
old.
26.
26. I get that. But again, it goes back. I remember how I felt, even though my father was in the house with me, and he did the best that he could. My dad did the best that he could with what he had. He was not absent. He was there. And I still had issues with him when I was 26 years old about
Right.
some decisions that he made, and that I felt that he should have done things differently. And so as a male, as a man who can reach back and say, hey, now that I look back on it, I was like, Marcus, that was really frivolous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You really didn't. It wasn't even worth all of that you going through. You bringing all of that up. And I know that my father probably had some things that he went through with his father when he came of a certain age.
Right.
And he voiced those, and maybe he didn't because his dad was already old when he was born anyway. Like,
right.
he
was so done with you right now. I can't with you right now.
An old man, baby.
He was just old.
He was an old man, baby.
He was old.
He was old. So, and I don't know. I think that instead of the community pitting those two men against one another, I heard only one vlogger who made, and I hadn't even seen that until today, who had the same sentiment as myself. Like, had there been some type of relationship between the two, it wouldn't be like that. Because young men and women at a certain age, when they become sort of like independent and start doing things on their own, outside of the house of their parents, there's going to come a time when they start, the enemy start knick-knacking at your door. And brings up things that make you resent how your father or your mother acted towards you as a child.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah. But I would also bring in the fact that, they're doing what their culture would do in this time. Like, we were brought up differently. And although I didn't have my father, and I did make some horrible mistakes looking for a daddy. Okay. Let me just be real. Let me be really real. Made some horrible mistakes and decisions in life because there was a void. I had a void. And not saying that I didn't have father figures around. I had a few father figures around, but they wasn't my daddy.
Right. That's right.
They was not my daddy. Now, my grandfather was the closest thing to me to a father that I had. And man, I had a great, great grandfather. Oh, he was amazing, right? But he was still just my granddaddy.
Right.
He was granddaddy. He wasn't my dad.
He wasn't dad. That's right.
My dad. And so I had a void that needed filling. And but because of how I was raised, although I made some dumb decisions, some crazy mistakes, when it was time for me to forgive, because I was taught a way, I was able to forgive.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
And it just they're doing what they do.
Well, let me say this. Let me add to that. 50 Cent is older than you. He's a few years younger than I am. And Ronald, you said something here. Your comment says men need to step up and take care of their kids. That was what
absolutely I agree.
What we entered
absolutely I agree.
We that's what we said yesterday. We have to change the perception because of how it's ravaging our community. And because it's ravaging our community so much, this is why we are perpetuating what has been brought into our community by being separated, by being forced downward. Even the government has played a role in that. But once we get to a place where we realize that we realize the errors that we did, we have to make changes. So being the type of person that 50 Cent is, then he is going to, he has to keep perpetuating that role over and over again. Nobody ever, and I don't know, I can't say whether they did or they didn't, but he doesn't, he doesn't, forgiveness is not something that he would say, well, son, I forgive you. The funny thing about it is that his son has actually reached out to him to say, Dad, is there anything that you and I can do so that we can make amends with each other to put this behind us? And it really shouldn't be the son making that step.
It shouldn't be. So that is showing maturity
Yeah.
in the son. That really does show maturity in that son. So, man, that's really sad. Maybe we need to go to Iana, fix their life.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm sorry, I had to.
You know what? Iyanla, and you know, I'm gonna say even with Iyanla, I used to, when she first came out, I did not like her approach, but as the show continued to grow, then I started to see like, you know what? There's something in this.
She has an unorthodox approach. It's very unorthodox, but it's not the same for each family either.
It's not.
It interchanges and it's different.
And she gets down into the core of what the problem
God.
is.
All the way to the nitty-gritty.
Stupid, you know, the exercises seem to be stupid.
Seemingly, yes.
But the core of it, when you get down to it, you're like, okay, now I understand why she did this.
Right. So maybe they need to look out, you know, hit her up and
she's done. She doesn't do it anymore.
Maybe they need to call Dr. Phil.
Oh Lord, no. He don't know how to handle us.
He don't know how to handle us.
We need it. We
Especially
need
not
it
their
in Iyanla.
culture.
We needed an Iyanla in our life.
Oh Lord, listen, I'm making light of the situation right now. It's a serious situation, but I'm just making light because it's a little deep, guys. It's a little deep situation here, and it's very disheartening to see a young Black male who just really wants their dad. That is sad. You know, that is extremely sad. And I've seen it so many times where our young Black men, they want their dad.
And you know what? Let me say, I'm gonna even that. I think this man said, "Call Dr. Seuss." Oh, call Dr. Jesus.
Oh, that's it now, Dr. Jesus.
Call Dr. Jesus. My bad, Ronald. My bad.
Dr. Seuss. That man said Jesus. He ain't saying no Seuss. Call Dr. Jesus. Hey, he might answer you. Call Dr. Jesus. Only Marcus.
I need to call Dr. Jesus. I'm gonna be calling Dr. Jesus tonight. But you know, even the relationship that Will Smith has with his children, I per se think relationship-wise, he shows a relationship that to me is good. But his children don't necessarily feel like that was the best thing for them.
Right. Absolutely right.
They wanted more of a traditional.
They wanted more of a father, a traditional upbringing. They wanted a traditional family and upbringing. Yes, they did.
And to be too loose, I saw this years ago. This little white boy was on one of these talk shows, and they were talking about kids that yell and fuss at their mother, and he was fighting his mom and fussing at his mom, and they had showed the videos of him slapping her and blah 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 blah.
Well, hold on, what happened?
He slapped her in her face.
He was
now I did see one on Facebook where it was a little Black boy did that, and his mama was just sitting. He was going, "Talk to me, talk to me," and she would talk to
listen,
me.
You know what I would have been doing? I would have did this. I mean, listen, if y'all need to go to your cameras and start looking right now, because I would have said, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, plead the blood of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, all over that child. And I'll be pleading the blood the whole time, because them spirits in him gonna come out by the time I'm done.
He slapped the big Jesus out of
name of Jesus.
Just like that little white boy slapped the big Jesus.
Mighty God. Y'all better have some name of Jesus on y'all with some holy water.
Here's what he said, though. Here's what the little white boy said that was very interesting. Because she says, why don't you just behave and do what I tell you to do? You know what he said to her?
What?
He said, if you will whoop me every now and then and tell me not to do stuff, then I wouldn't do it.
Whoa. So if you would parent me better, if you knew how to be a parent, basically is what he said.
That's what he said.
You knew how to be a parent better than what you doing, maybe I would.
That's what the little boy said.
That's what the little boy said.
People, I would not, you know, a lot of people don't agree with my stance, and that's okay. It's your opinion. That's fine by me. Somebody told me the other day that my father was abusive because he gave me spankings when I was growing up. And I said, no, he would have been abusive if he didn't. If he did not punish me for when I did something wrong, and if he did not correct me when I did something wrong. I do not. These comments here, beat it.
Now, listen, you can't just beat these children. You got to tell them why you beating them. Why you beating them.
This is the thing.
You got to tell them why you beating them. Why you beating them.
I hated that part of my whooping, Drina.
I know you did.
I just want you to go ahead.
Just go ahead and whoop me and hush your mouth. That what you were saying. Whoop me and hush.
Would you just whoop me and get this over with?
Get this over. I don't want to hear nothing. Stop talking to me and just whoop me.
They had to break. He had to break. And you know what? That is not child abuse.
It is not.
You are talking to your children and you are explaining to your children.
That is called real discipline.
This is discipline.
That is discipline.
And I know people have their own opinions. That's fine. If your mom and dad didn't spank you, if they made you put your face in the corner, or they gave you time out, I got time out and a whooping. And I got privileges taken from me. I got the whole full circle.
So I didn't get all of that. I did get a lot. I did get a couple whoopings, but because because I'm a screamer, okay? Listen, I'm gonna scream before you get to me. There is no way you gonna whoop me and I'm not screaming. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna fall all out. I'm gonna be on the floor. I'm gonna be acting like I'm having a heart attack and everything. Like I'm in straight cardiac arrest before you.
I tried that with
it worked for me. I was the last child, so my mom was tired by the time she got to me. My brother Marco was so bad that by the time she got to me, she was like, just go into your room.
I used to wish that would. My father would be like, don't go to screaming and carrying on that. You should have been screaming and falling out when you was doing what you.
See, nope. My mom was a single parent with 3 children, and 2 of them was boys. Listen, I made it out good.
Yeah,
she had 2 boys and me. I was the girl, so I was able to get away. Listen, I got a guest in the studio right quick that's gonna join us, and I wish I could add him to the camera, but I don't know how to do all that.
I don't need to do that.
Listen, he said I don't need to do that. But this dude right here, he is the most controversial.
Can I send him? I can send him a link. He can.
Listen, he's the most controversial, amazing person that I know. He is my brother. From a whole nother mother. This is Don D. Miller. Done stepped in this studio.
I was just passing by.
He was passing by.
I'm going to do my show up the street, 7:00.
You going down the road.
Yeah.
And you heard my show and you said they doing pretty good. Let me jump in.
I was like Drina over there, man. What the heck? I ain't say heck.
don't say what you said.
But hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you, bro?
Good, man. Drina's family, man. I was just passing by and I said to myself, what Drina doing in there? And I just stopped by.
You just stopped by because yourself.
Yeah, I'm stopping by anyway. Yeah. But you guys are having a really interesting conversation. And
what's your thought process on that, bro?
Well, I've done this show probably 500 shows.
Yeah.
and I could tell you, I think, especially in our community, we lost a lot of ground when we stopped whooping children. You know what I mean? And I understand when we allowed the European conversation and the way the Europeans engage in the parental process to come over into our scenario, I think we lost a great deal of ground. As a matter of fact, I don't know anybody when I was growing up that didn't get beat. And I recall vividly when my mother came to the school in her house coat and beat me.
Okay? Good fashion.
Good. And everybody stood down. Nobody was like, call the police, or I was her child and I had done wrong. And she was fully responsible to come wherever I engaged in ridiculousness and give me the whole package. And she did in front of everybody. But I wasn't embarrassed as much as a child probably would be nowadays, because a lot of people that I grew up with, mama would clown them in front of other children
and show right up.
But now with all these movements, I think many of these movements have affected our community negatively.
John, you know, let me jump in here, because see, when I was growing up, black and white parents in my neighborhood gave their children spankings.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Everybody, you know, and the parents wouldn't.
Did you grow up in the South?
I partially both.
Yeah. Okay.
But in my southern neighborhood, those parents gave those children, those white people gave those children spankings like we got.
Absolutely.
Like with a
in the South for sure.
In the South.
Absolutely.
It didn't whether they came to school and it was did you hear we lived in a neighborhood where your mother went out on the back porch, or your father, they called your name from the back porch. Wherever you were in the neighborhood, somebody was like, your mom's calling you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. And if she had to come look for you,
you're in trouble. But my father told me something. My father, sometimes when he would give me a spanking, one of the things that he would say, and I think that is missed in my generation as we grew up into this, from generation X into generation to the millennials and everything, we became more lax. But my father would say, because he's a child of the 60s, and he said, I'm giving you a whooping because if I don't, the white man will. And he's not going to whoop you with love like I do. And I see that now more than I see that anywhere. Because when you get those police on top of those heads, they are not beating you in love. They're beating you because they hate you. And that's where we are.
Wow.
No, I agree with you. You know, I'm a child of the 60s myself, and I can tell you that if there were so many opportunities, I remember a few young people in my neighborhood growing up who didn't get whoopings, and they all went to jail.
Right.
They all went to jail. Everybody I know who didn't get towed off all went to jail. And they all got in trouble, engaged in ridiculous behavior. They stayed out late. They all ended up in a situation. And I think what's going on now is definitely a systematic drive. And it's just really unfortunate when we see that the lack of capital, not necessarily capital, but corporal punishment in the household is a problem. I remember very well I can't even tell you how many whoopings I got. The worst one came when I set the kitchen curtains on fire.
What?
Yeah,
you deserve that.
No, let me tell you what happened now. I was playing with matches, but I was being responsible. So I started playing with them in the sink. Okay. So I could turn the water on, right? So I was playing with matches, and my mama had just brought these plastic curtains that hang behind the sink, right? There was a window behind the sink. And I struck the match, and the match just like the fire jumped from the match to this plastic curtain.
The fire just jumped from the match.
No, it just whoosh. It was some polyurethane curtains, and the curtain disappeared. It just went up the curtain. Just the curtain was gone, man. And so it was just one of the curtains. The other one didn't catch on fire, and I just didn't know what to do. So I put the match out, and I just you know how you know it's getting ready to happen. So she came home from work. I was in the room. She came home from work. I didn't know if she went in the kitchen or not. Then she called. She called me about 45 minutes later. She said, "Come on here and eat your food. Drina, we hear you." I said, "Come on here and eat your food," right? And I went on in there and ate my food. The kitchen curtain was gone, and she ain't say nothing. She said, "Okay, go in there and clean up. Get ready to go to bed. Bring your bath water." You know where this is going, right? I'm like, maybe she ain't noticed. And I got in that bathtub. As soon as I got soaking wet, that door swang open like a ninja was coming in. You ever got a wet whooping? I tell anybody, you ain't had a whooping unless you had a wet whooping. Man, Drina, you ever had a wet whooping?
I've
No.
never had a wet whooping.
I have never had a wet whipping. Have you ever had a wet whipping?
Have you guys ever got whooped with
Come over here. We can't hear you.
No, I had
Hold on, Shanti.
I've had a wet whooping and I've had an extension
cord whooping. Absolutely.
Yeah, they old school. They old school.
That's an Indian thing.
When you come out the shower,
Yes,
you get whooped
wet-
with that extension cord?
Absolutely.
Oh my!
I got a wet.
That
whooping.
is abuse, people. That's abuse.
I got a wet whooping. I used to be so when the iron broke, I take it all the way down the street to somebody else's garbage can because I know what she was gonna do. She's gonna cut that cord
Oh
off.
my God! Listen, guys, y'all give me 1 second. We need to do a station
was a
identification,
tool.
and we're gonna come right back to this conversation. Y'all hold on now.
It's about to reverse it and give you back double. If you believe that.
This is WOKB 1680 AM Winter Garden and W264DB 100.7 FM Kissimmee, the heart and soul of Central Florida.
Hey, y'all, this is Erica Campbell, and you are on the live drive with my girl, Lady Drina.
Drina!
We are victorious. We are victorious.
All right, we back, y'all. We back. You know, we got to do that station identification at the beginning of every top of the hour. It is the top of the 6 o'clock hour. This conversation's so good, and we got a special guest in here. So I guess we're going over for about 10 minutes. What you think, Marcus?
Well, I'm gonna sign off, y'all. I gotta get to Orlando.
You sure do. I forgot. You got to get to Orlando. So
where you located, man?
Poinciana.
Oh yeah, that's over there around back up in there. Yeah, okay. That's a long drive.
That's a good drive, and he has no choice but to get here. So come on down and listen. You can go ahead and end this, and me and Don gonna keep talking just for about 5 minutes because he got to get down the road too.
Because I want, hey Don, we got a few folks in the chat that said, "What's up, man?" They said hello to you.
Tell them to check out my show tonight, 7 o'clock at the Don Miller Show on YouTube, streaming live. It's the Don Miller Show, Drinking and Judging. Okay, it's the uncut version.
Literally,
the Don Miller Show, Drinking and Judging, YouTube, 7 p.m. Hey, thank you so much for. Please come over.
Man, he be sitting on that monkey shoulder. He be on that monkey shoulder over there.
I'll be on that monkey shoulder tonight. I'm sponsored by Uncle Nearest. Okay, I want to shout out the beautiful people over at Uncle Nearest. He was the original person who taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey, and now his family has brought his whiskey to the market in conjunction with the Jack Daniels family, giving them their support. So Uncle Nearest Whiskey, the black guy,
can't believe
the former slave. No, this is history. This ain't advertising. The former slave who taught Jack Daniels. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do all that.
It's kind of like the man who stole the pancakes and the other man who stole the fried chicken recipe.
Absolutely, showed up. But my pastor know. She know
She know you do a little something.
Yeah. Your pastor do too. he know me. You know
my pastor know you.
Hey man, nice to meet you, man.
Hey, you too, bro.
Hey, Marcus, you're gonna have to join one of Don's shows.
Absolutely.
Come on and sit with Don. See
what I ain't playing. Don't play.
Bishop
don't play.
After that,
no, we will go to church. Okay, we will definitely. We'll have church in the midst. That's a church word right there. Midst. I don't know. The only time I hear somebody say midst is in the church.
It's in the church conversation.
Yeah, I was in the midst of telling them.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't.
Look, peace and love.
Take care, my friend. Hey, Drina, I love you so much.
I do love you, man.
Drina, man, did the boss lady leave yet?
She's still here.
Man, I need to see boss lady.